welcome to Tales from the Tips. I'm DA with 15-year Tour Caddy Mick Middlemo. We're just a couple of guys that love to talk about the game of golf, both inside and outside the ropes, but we come at it from a different perspective. Mick?
Yes, sir.
You're looking good there, buddy.
9:38 in the morning. Feeling not. I wouldn't say fresh. We had a few beers last night. I'd say okay. But I cut myself off early. I cut myself off early last night.
Oh, well, why did you do that?
Oh, I don't know. I just decided to be responsible-ish.
Responsible-ish. Got it. I'm kind of like you. I wasn't consuming any adult beverages last night. I was at a summer team league swim meet. Proud to say, Mick, we are 1-0. First time we have started the season 1-0. So it was a good feeling. Very tight swam match. But our kiddos pulled it out, so really excited for our group. And I know I've got a couple dads that listen to our podcast. By the way, they wanted to know, where is Mick? And I said, he's in Australia. Clearly, you haven't listened to some episodes in a while. And I got the sheepish look of, ooh.
Yeah. Mick's
So,
down under. Mick's going to be down under.
I was recruiting last night as well. So we've got hopefully we got some more listeners, and
yes,
we've
I
got
was recruiting last night. I recruited last night as well. I got I think 4 or 5 extras last night as well.
Look at that. Well, we'll see. We've got a new platform for them to catch us on. The unedited version of us. So that'll be fun. Mick?
Yes.
You ready?
Yes, born ready.
This is what I got in the notes. I know you and I have not spent a lot of time chatting back and forth because you're busy with dad and I'm busy running swim teams, and us living our lives, and you're getting ready to start work again. Wyndham Clark, out of nowhere, wins the CJ Cup. Byron Nelson going 31 under. Mick?
Mini golf.
I'm going to get your thoughts on this. What is better to watch? The boys going low, or what happened a couple of weeks ago at Mick, where the golf course was having its way with the players? I'll ask you that question.
Okay.
Hold on to that one.
I'm
going to also, Mick, I'm going to ask you this, because I want you to go back into the pantheon of all the courses you guys were on. What was the toughest round you had to carry for, and what was the lowest round? So I'm gonna
toughest as in toughest golf course or toughest conditions?
Toughest conditions. So course conditions, kind of what we saw at Mick. The course wasn't supposed to play that tough, yet it showed its teeth and bit the guys pretty good. Scores were much lower or higher than what they thought they were going to be. And then I want to know the lowest round you were on the bag for. So hold on to those. The PGA guys are right now at the Charles Schwab Challenge at Colonial. I know this is one of your favorite tracks. I'm going to have you go back.
And one of my favorite towns.
And one of your favorite towns. We're going to get into those reasons. And Mick, have you heard about the 2-track system?
No. Well, briefly. We touched on it a little bit before. I won't lie. We touched on it briefly beforehand, and I'm still trying to get my head around it.
We will discuss Mr. Rollap's 2-track system, some notable changes to the schedule coming up for the 2027 season, most namely the Cadillac Championship moving from the end of April to the beginning of March, where it will fall right before the Players. So a couple of things to keep an eye on there. And Mick, we pay tribute to 2 guys that you could either love or
not like them.
You could hate. That's right. That's a Red Wings Avalanche photo of the 96-97 teams that battled for the Stanley Cup.
Patrick Roy and was it Osgood he was fighting?
He actually fought Mike Vernon.
Mike Vernon, number 29,
yes.
I believe. Might have been number 29.
Yes, Mike Vernon. Ozzy wasn't until after Verney.
He got Patrick Waugh pretty good too. Cut him open pretty good.
We got Captain Wawa pretty good, and Claude turtled, and Darren McCarty beat the living daylights out of him from after Claude's dirtiest hit in the Western Conference Finals the year before.
Then they were best mates forever. Then they were best mates, which is the way it should be. Whatever happens on the ice stays on the ice. Can be mates off.
Right. We've got you've got some stories from last night. Guys asking who this Claude guy was. So
yeah, they couldn't pronounce it. It was very funny watching a bunch of Australians try to pronounce the name Lemieux. It was very funny. I actually wish I'd videoed that.
I was going to say that would have been good social content.
Lemex. Yeah, there was Lemo. There was a lot of names going on. It was very funny.
Well, we're going to touch on that one briefly. So, sir, if you're ready,
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Let's grip it and rip it. Okay, let's get into the CJ Cup. Byron Nelson.
The mini golf they played last. Is that the mini golf they played last week?
Yeah, the multi-million-dollar renovation that was to prevent guys from shooting 30 and below and better. And
how'd that work out?
Sure enough, Scotty shoots minus 31 last year, and Wyndham shoots 30 something under this year, and 11 under in the final round. We had a 59 watch on Friday. We had
bogeyed the last.
Right. How nervous? Okay. All right. This isn't even in the notes. How nervous do you think he was standing on that tee on 8? Do you think it was in his head?
Of course. Mate, he had a chance to shoot 58.
Well, I know, but okay, so I saw Scotty's comments. Like, it's kind of like you're as you're playing along with him, you're not saying anything, obviously. You know, when a guy's on a heater, you kind of back off. Do you think his caddy and him were having that conversation like, mate,
No.
It was just like,
I've actually been in a group where a player shot 59.
What?
Not on the PGA Tour.
You never told this story.
Not on the PGA Tour, on the Corn Ferry Tour. Will Wilcox shot 59. I wasn't on the bag. I was caddying for Daniel Chopra, who shot 62 that day. Got beaten by 3 shots, and Willie Wilcox held an 8. He had to birdie, well, it was actually 8 and 9, not 17, 18. He had to birdie 8 and 9 to shoot 59, and he did. I actually have the ball. He gave me the ball.
So did you see Will this past week with his boy gets a hole-in-one? Completely different reaction from when he hit his hole-in-one with you and him.
Yes, completely
just a very casual high five.
Well, it's a little different having it there than it is at Sawgrass.
It's a hole-in-one.
Yeah, but Sawgrass is a little bit more, exciting than other ones. Yeah, I'd have to say. I mean, Greg
I actually was going to put it up on social media because I found it hysterical that his reaction with you was to jump into your arms, and his reaction was to walk over to his player and just go,
yeah,
high five.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of how his player is. Will's a little more excitable than Sanjay M is. But yeah, I mean, they're more excitable. I mean, I think 2 with Greg Owen. One was out at Palm Springs, and it was just like, oh, that went in the hole. Cool. High five. Move on.
It's like it's like just normal for them.
Yeah, a little 8-iron. It was a beautiful golf shot in the hole. One. And then, I mean, because you're playing with amateurs, so they're all cheering in the group and stuff like that, and high five, and then you move on. You don't worry about it.
So let me ask you this. With that, well, first of all, with that win, Wyndham becomes the first player in PGA Tour history to close out 2 wins with final round 60s. So pretty good shooting on his part. Let me ask you this. When you're on a bag for a guy that's starting to go low, what does that become like out on the course, like for you and for the player? Like, what are you guys talking about? What are you not doing? Is there anything that you change, or you just you're like doing everything you can to make sure you stay locked in and same thing?
Every player is different. Every player sort of you have to react to different and know what they're doing. I mean, it's like when I was caddying for Greg Owen, we were in Greensboro one time, and he'd come off the front nine like shooting 30 or something, and he was just on fire. And I was more shocked about his reaction by saying, "Hey," when he hit off 10, he goes, "All right, I need your help now. You got to keep me calm and keep me calm and keep me focused. And this is on you now. I need you to help me." And I'm like, "Why? You're playing beautifully, mate. What are we changing anything for? There's no reason to change anything. You're playing beautifully. Let's keep going low. Let's try to do that." Unfortunately, it didn't work because sometimes Greg would get in his own head a little bit. He's obviously much better at it now because he's won a couple of times of late. But other guys would be like, "Yeah, okay, this is Daniel Chopra. If he got on a streak, he loved it. That was his thing. He just let's go low. Let's go. Let's make as many birdies as we can now because now what you've done in the past doesn't matter. If you shoot 29 on the front, there's nothing you can change. Let's go. Let's go do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and shooting 59 is obviously it's great, but you're also trying to win tournaments as well. So it all depends who you're caddying for. A lot of guys love that position. Some guys get nervous in that position. They're like, "Oh, damn! I could shoot 58 here." And I would have been telling him on that tee, "Mate, let's shoot 58. I ain't worried about 59.
Right.
Let's birdie this. Let's birdie this hole. Let's be only the second player in history to shoot 58. How many times do you get to stand onto the 18th hole with a chance to make history? Let's
Right.
go.
Yeah.
And I'd be like really getting him up for that. To do that. Unfortunately, I think maybe the nerves got to him. He made bogey. He shot 60, but at the end of the day, 59. It's just a score. 60 is a great score, but so is 59. I mean, it's one shot difference. I mean, it's no one's going to remember you for the rest of your career because you shot 59. I mean, how
Right.
many different players have shot 59 now? There's like 12 or 13. Could you
Yeah.
tell me six? I couldn't tell you six of them. Well, I probably could, but I mean, a lot of just average golfers couldn't tell you who the six of them were. So it's not. Is it really that important? No. Winning golf tournaments is probably more important.
Yeah, and I think you touched on it there. It's you know whether you shoot 59 or 60 in the second round, first round, or you shoot a 60 in the final round is where it matters.
Yeah.
Obviously a 60 on Friday doesn't win you the tournament. A 60 on Sunday, one Wyndham
Did
Clark
win,
the tournament.
did win you the tournament and won you the tournament
Yeah.
by 3. But going back to what you said, I don't particularly like shootouts, 30 unders and 29 unders and 28 unders. I'm kind of in that mix where I think we'd all should be like Colonial this week. You'll see a lot of guys bunched at the top because it's not a golf course you're going to go and shoot 60 on. I mean, it's definitely a tougher golf course. You have to drive it accurately around there. It's narrow. You have to hit a lot of different golf shots on that golf course. It's a wonderful track. It's a little bit like Hilton Head, where you have to sort of think your way around the golf course. And I like golf to be about 11, 12, 13 under is your winning scores. I think that's kind of gives everybody a chance, and I much prefer that. I don't think there's anything enjoyable about watching guys out go and make it look like mini golf, like they're playing on a pitch and putt golf course. And a lot of the times when I was on the Corn Ferry Tour, that's how the Corn Ferry Tour tournaments were set up, where you would see the cuts at 6 and 7 under. I don't think that's good for anybody, to tell you the truth. Just driver and wedge into most holes. It's not fun. I don't believe so.
Well, and when we get into Colonial here in a couple of minutes, I mean, the cut line at one point today, the difference between the leader and the cut was only 6 strokes.
Yeah, and that's the golf course. To me, that sets up for great golf, great watching,
Yeah.
keeps people on the edge of their seats. Like even at Aronimik, there was so many people within a chance to win. That to me it's much more fun to watch than someone going out, oh, another birdie, another birdie, another birdie, another birdie. I mean, you finish 12 under at at McKinney, and you finish 40th.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
It doesn't. It
Brooks,
does. It's not much
Brooks had
fun.
a great tournament in all respects, but he ended up finished what, T41.
Yeah.
I mean, you took Scotty last week. Scotty had a really good tournament and finishes third.
Yeah.
And he's what was he, 27 minus 27,
Yeah.
something
Something
like
like
that.
that.
Yeah. So
he's
I,
played that course. He's played that course 2 years in a row. He shot 57. He's shot 57 under.
There's times I like when these guys I like when a guy has a chance to go out in ahead of the last couple of groups and put a score up and put a number up there for the guys to chase. And then there's to your point, I do appreciate when there's a chance, like it could be a handful, 5, 6, 7 guys that coming down after they make the turn have a legitimate shot to win the tournament. Um, and then the pressure turns up not only from shot making but also from you've got to maintain your composure as well as your keeping the ball in play. So with that, Mick, what was one of the toughest rounds that you've been out there? Like, you kind of walk us back through with what was the round? Who were you on the bag with? And what was it course conditions? Was it just the way the course was set up? I know you and I have
Course
gone back
conditions.
and forth on Kerry Haig and some of his setups as well as the USGA. What was it?
Course conditions and weather. I mean, course setup and weather. I mean, when those two collide, you can be in for a tough day. It was Torrey Pines. And when the wind starts blowing there at 20 mile an hour and you got rain coming off, the Pacific Ocean, and your rough is 3 inches thick and you're trying to stay away from the wet rough, probably one of the more miserable days I've ever had in the golf course. Just trying to keep a player focused, and the course played so hard. And the other one would have been at Riviera, same thing, same conditions, just misty, horrible rain all day. I think we went through maybe 8 or 9 different towels. We had the bag loaded up with different towels, which you would just discard on holes because you go through one, okay, done, don't want to carry a wet towel around with me everywhere, put it in the bag, you don't want it in there. So when the weather collides with the tough golf course setups, it's you can be in for a rough. Talk about long day. Talk about a really nice shower when you get to the end of when you're back to your hotel room and laying on your bed like you've just been beat up by Mike Tyson. Some of those days, you're going out and shooting 76, 77, and honestly feeling like you couldn't have played any better.
Yeah.
I mean, and those days can just wear you out. But yeah, those days of cold, wet, windy weather on golf courses like Riviera and Torrey Pines, they're not much fun. And you know that from the minute you wake up in the morning going, this is going to be a tough day. If you can keep this to even par or 1 or 2 over, you have played, out of your backside. You played as good as you can play.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think we've all any one of us that have played competitive golf have been in that round where it's like you're hanging every glove that you have from the inside of your umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised to hear you. So you discard the towels. There's no place for you guys to drop them off at. You just
you just leave them on. You leave them on a tee box. You leave them on a tee box. So you'll leave them on a tee box and something like that. I'm sure someone comes and gets them. But I mean, you'll start the day. You'll have your own in the bag. You'll get extras at the start of the week, and then you'll go scrounging. You'll bring another couple from your hotel room. The little hand towel ones. You bring a couple from your hotel room because you're going to need an extra 2 or 3. Oh yeah, you're going to need extra 2 or 3 of those. Normally I was pretty good at taking those ones back, but I'd like to use those ones last. But you've got your sponsored towels out there, and then obviously you go back to your hotel and you're trying to take the ones home and you try to dry them out, get them ready for the next day because it's going to be wet again. Those days are not much fun. I can assure you.
You don't miss those, huh?
No, I don't miss those days. I don't miss
No.
them. The only person who could stop it rain like that was Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
Because
Let me ask you this: what was the lowest round that you were on the bag for?
61.
Who?
Greg Owen. It was at wasn't a PGA Tour event. It was British Open qualifying.
Oh wow!
And we shot 61, 64 because 36 holes and finished second.
And finished second.
To Harris English. You beat us by 2 shots. But we did qualify. That was the 2012 British Open. But yeah. Going back to playing golf in difficult conditions, we were getting ready to tee up at the Barclays at Liberty National, and Tiger Woods was in front of us. He was in the group in front of us. I think it was on Saturday, and so we go into the scorers. No, not the scorers. The first tee. We're getting our pin sheets and stuff like that, and Tiger's just standing there, and it's raining. It's pouring rain. I mean, it's just going to be a miserable day. and there's a sheet on the in the tent there that tells you the weather by hour, how it's going to be hourly, how the rain, which way the wind's blowing from, and stuff. So you always write that down and look at it and stuff like that. And it said 100%. It said 95% chance of rain, and then so Tiger scratches it out and puts 100% next to it, and I said, you think it's going to rain all day? He goes, Mick, it's not going to stop. Well, he gets to the first tee, and it stops raining. It just stops raining. It's a little light mist. It did not rain for 18 holes.
Wow.
And it was just no way it couldn't rain. And it stopped. Like, he played 18 holes. We were in the group behind him. We finished, and the minute we finished, it started raining again. So I don't know what deal he had made with somebody in his career, but I was very suspect after that round.
he had a little bit of
We had a little joke about it afterwards. I was like, I knew you were good. I didn't realize you were that good.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean,
but you could make it stop raining for 18 holes. He did. It did literally stop raining for his whole round.
I don't know what's funnier, that or the comment he made to you and
Shannon?
Yeah.
Move on.
All right.
I've told that,
well, we
will
move on.
Anyway.
All right. So the guys, the Charles Schwab Challenge at Colonial, affectionately known
We're
as
talking real golf now. We're not talking mini golf.
Hogan's Alley. Mick, I think you touched on it earlier. You know, this golf course is a traditional style golf course. Some like you would find up here,
my favorite,
on the East Coast. Most of the ones that you would find up in the Northeast, traditional, tough. You got to drive the ball really well, and then you've got to hit your irons into the greens really well. Oh, and then by the way, you got to putt.
Yeah, very narrow fairways too. Very narrow fairways.
Very narrow. What were some of the things about Colonial that you liked? That you were like, man, I cannot wait to get, like, it was as soon as the schedule came out, there's the circle, you know you're going, but it was like, I've got my itinerary already laid out.
Yeah, it's just a good fun golf course to play. It's like, that's where you really got to golf your ball around a little bit. So you don't have to blast it 350 meters or 350 yards. So you're back in meters already, 350 yards. It's a great setup golf course. It gets you off to a good start. The first hole is kind of a nice, relaxing par 5. You know, where you can make eagle, you can get into your round nice. You want to make birdie at the first and get into your round, but then it becomes a little tricky after that. Good par 3s, good length par 3s, nothing too crazy. It's just, you've got to golf your ball really, really straight around that place. I mean, there's a lot of courses you can blow it down there, and like last week, you could hit all over the place and make birdies. You can't do that at this place. And it's great tradition, great fans. Texas fans are usually some of the best fans in the country. They're wonderful, very, very appreciative. They know good golf. They're not crazy. They're not screaming and yelling as much as you think they do up in Philly and places like that. But it's a great play. It's in a great area. Fort Worth. I love Fort Worth. I could live there. There's 2 places in Texas I could live there, in San Antonio. Fort Worth's just a great get up. And I've been very lucky to play Ben Hogan's course out there, Shady Oaks.
Oh, really?
Got to see Ben Hogan's locker and all his stuff that's still in his locker from when he, which they have a glass thing in front of it now. And I was lucky enough to go back into a room there where they took us in there, and there's probably 20 or 30 different drivers and woods that he used and putters that he had and stuff like that. And they're in a little special place that you can go and have a look at. And they've done a refurb there, I think, not that long ago. I think I can't remember who did. Jeff Ogilvy from Australia, I think his company did a refurb to Shady Oaks, so I haven't seen it since. But yeah, so there's a lot of history out there, and I do enjoy the places with a lot of history and a lot of it's just great. It's just great places to go to.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night bites.
Well, and that's like you and I've talked about it when we were with the guys from Eastlake, Alex and and the crew out there, the historical factor that you get to deal with. Obviously, last week, historically, Byron Nelson. This week, you're talking about Hogan. These are the biggest names, in golf history.
But they're not going to change this golf course. They're not. They're not going. They're not going to move from this golf course. This golf course will be set on the schedule for probably another 50 years. It's going to stay on the schedule. Last week's is just. It's that tournament's dead.
Yeah, unfortunately, I agree with you. They make a lot to do about holes 3, 4, and 5. The horrible horseshoe here at Colonial. Anything memorable from that stretch, or was it pretty much like let's just survive? Kind of like
You just got to survive. If you
Yeah.
make your 3 pars, you get around there. You don't try to do anything stupid. You just try to play middle of the greens, and then you try to move on. I mean, they're difficult golf holes, but there's
no different than Durrell or at Quail.
You know before you get there with the setup of the golf course which holes you can try to get after a little bit. Again, depending on pin positions and stuff like that, you just can't get too greedy at that golf. You just play very, very good, smart, conservative golf, and you'll play well there.
What do you think the final score is going to be?
11.
Okay.
Maybe 12. Depends what they do to the course on the weekend too. Depends what they do to the greens, what the weather's like.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they had a rainstorm yesterday, which softens things up. Which of course they have a storm nearly every day in Dallas.
Yeah, and really no wind. That's been the biggest talk of the last 2 weeks is no wind.
Yeah, that place gets difficult when it's windy. Whew, let me tell you.
Yeah. I guess the heat turned up towards the latter part of the morning session rounds, and the sun came out, and Texas heat got to them. Right now, currently, as we record this podcast, Jordan Smith, the Englishman, currently leads Mick at -10. He's got a 4 guys chasing him: Michael Thor Bjornsson, Ryan Gerard, Brian Harmon, and Hideki Matsuyama. So, to your point, guys that hit it straight and putt really well.
It's a very good combination.
Oh, and by the way, here's the guy that's on the move once again. The heat starting. JJ Spawn.
Will win.
Back up there.
Will win.
You have Well, okay. So let's get into our picks now. In full transparency, tonight is Friday night. The cut line has already come out. Mick, you had Mark Hubbard, who made the cut.
A lot of people don't know who Mark Hubbard is.
Right. Mark Hubbard from Denver, Colorado. Harry Hall. Mick, Harry Hall's packing his bags and hopping a bird to wherever else he's headed.
Yep.
I took a flyer and didn't land very well. But Englishman Jordan Smith. What do you know about Jordan Smith, Mick?
Absolutely nothing. He's from England.
He's from England.
And his form on the PGA Tour hasn't been that great.
No, you've got Ludwig is at -6. Gary Woodland, Ryo Hisatsune is playing.
Jordan Smith, by the way, he did finish third at Valspar.
Yeah,
that's his only top 10, I believe.
Okay, Jordan. Well, he made it on the PGA Tour through the DP World Tour. So obviously he can play some good golf.
Oh, there is no doubt. Once you're on that tour, you can play a little bit of good golf.
Yes, he made a birdie on 16 to get back to 10 under after bogeying 14. So, Mr. Jordan Smith, ladies and gentlemen. Mick?
Yes, sir.
So this week, I'm not sure. I know, as you mentioned earlier, you were not up to speed on some of the changes, but the starting part of the schedule is starting to be released. The Cadillac Championship that was at Durrell. Again, first year returning back to the tour. Very low attendance. Again, several factors happening in the Miami area. That date now moves from the end of beginning of May to the beginning of March. The week leading up to the Players. So, what do you think that field's going to look like the week you're going to go from one hard course to another?
Yeah, I guess guys are going to set their schedule up for that. Setting a schedule up used to be easy on the PGA Tour because nothing really changed much, and now they're sort of tinkering with it and changing it on a yearly basis. I think that makes it harder for the players to set their schedules because then you really got to do some homework on where you want to play and how you're going to do it. And sometimes you may have to skip some of the golf courses you like because it doesn't fit into your schedule now. And courses and tournaments like last week, Byron Nelson, they're just going to get skipped total at some stage.
Well, and that was a couple of the points that were brought up, in listening and hearing some of the guys that deal with golf on a daily basis. There are chances as we get into 2028. Brian Roloff has mentioned the 2-track system, Mick. Track 1 being kind of what you right now would consider your signature series event style. Sounds like it's going to be either 100 to 120 man field with a cut, which I do like.
I do like 120 man field events. Very, very. I like them.
I think that's reasonable. I think it helps you when you have a weather delay. I think that helps you when you're starting the beginning part of the season or the latter part of the season when the sunlight point isn't up there. You can get through a tournament with a few delays and you're not backed up. And then there's the track 2. And I think this is where it's going to start getting a little challenging. As you mentioned, the CJ Cup, Byron Nelson. Scotty Scheffler, have you heard of him?
Goes all right, yes.
Yeah, he's okay. Do you know where he's from?
Yes, right in that area.
Do you know which tournament he has not missed?
That one right there until next year.
So if the proposed schedule comes out, the signature series, if you're in track 1, you do not play track 2.
Mm-hmm. This is like Division 1 and Division 2.
This is like Division 1 and Division 2. So, Mick, my question to you is, how do you keep the fan interest with a hometown? Because it's always great to have the hometown player playing his tournament. I remember Jason Buha. I played against Jason in high school. He was from Farmington, Michigan. He went on to play on the Hooters Tour, which is nationwide, which is now the Korn Ferry Tour. But he would get an exemption into the Buick Open at Warwick. And it was always a big deal for all of us guys that remember him playing high school, that we got to go up and watch a guy that we played against on the other side of the ropes.
Yeah, he got it. I've played a lot of rounds of golf with Jason Buha.
Look at this. We've been connected for all these years, and we never knew it.
Yeah, he played quite a few years on the PGA Tour.
Yeah. Jason had a good little streak. He was one of the nicest guys I remember being out there, but he was definitely had leaps and bounds ahead of all of us. And I think he ended up going down to Duke to play. But I bring this up, Mick. What does the PGA Tour need to do with?
I don't know what they're doing. They're confusing everybody.
They're confusing everybody.
Which is what they're trying to do. And I mean, I don't understand what's the long-term plan. What are we getting into? What are we trying to turn the PGA Tour into? Okay, so this sounds like we're going with. We have a relegation system. This is basically a relegation system. You still play on the PGA Tour, but you're going to be relegated to the secondary part of the PGA Tour. Are those tournaments going to bring people to watch those players? And the answer is no.
No. And let me ask you this question, because of what I do for a living. Which TV channel gets to broadcast Tier 1 and which channel gets to broadcast Tier 2?
Fact.
And which
how do you promote Tier 2?
Exactly. And right now, this is a blessing of riches. The PGA Tour, by the way, has the strongest TV ratings in years right now. Years. Mm-hmm. Week after week. Even last week at the CJ Byron Nelson, Ratings were through the roof, Mick. Why would you go and change this?
They're still not happy, or the players want to do something different, or this might be coming from the players board. I don't know. I'd like to hear it. Or I'd like to hear what. Again, the players have to say, "Hey, yeah, this is good. This is what we want to do," because they can nix it as well. I mean, the players board can get up there and go, we're not really interested in this. This is not going to be good," and you can create all sorts of waves and have some sort of fight if the board don't like it. Unfortunately, a lot of the top players are the ones on the board, so they're probably going to agree with it. And this is what's happened in the past when you have some of the best players in the world on that board. The players who just get onto the PGA Tour or who are on the PGA Tour, who have like journeymen say, their voice doesn't get heard as much as it should.
Yeah.
They used to speak about a union back in the day. They wanted to have a union that got nixed. Yeah, I'd be interested to see what they do with this, and I don't know why they're tinkering with it so much. This could be the death of a lot of. This will be the death of the Byron Nelson. This sort of stuff, because if Scotty's not there and you're only talking, I mean, what was it? I said there was only 2 players in the top 50 who turned up last week.
Yeah, you
Well,
had
eventually it's gonna be none.
Jordan and Scotty last week.
Yeah, because of the Texas thing. Yeah, I'm going to have to do a little bit more research on this one before I really go off my handle here and say this is a ridiculous idea. But I get annoyed with sports that keep tinkering with things. They just keep tinkering with things that aren't broke, and it's not. It's the PGA Tour, like you said, the ratings are going great, everything's going great. We're doing wonders. The majors get, great viewing, and it's just I wonder why they're trying to tinker, and I don't know what they're going to do with some of these tournaments. You've lost some of the best tournaments that the PGA Tour ever had, and well attended ones because of sponsorship and things like that. Like I said, the Byron Nelson's going to die. It'll be gone in 4 or 5 years. There's no way they can sustain that unless
that field.
You're going to make it a tier 2 field, and you'll get a few. It'll be like going to watch Corn Ferry, and no slide on the Corn Ferry players. It'll be like going to watch Corn Ferry events because people aren't going to know a lot of these players.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, I've been an advocate for the tour to continue to keep the number of cards up because, yes, I do believe even though we don't know who Jordan Smith is because he's been playing on the DP World Tour and he's 33 years of age, I do know this. Jordan Smith is a pretty good player. And if he can stick it out and he goes on and wins this week, he just changed his entire life, by being a winner on the PGA Tour. You got some guys right up there. I mean, Brian Harmon, by the way, I think loves Texas. I think he may adopt Texas as his second state outside of Georgia.
Again, a very good course for him too, because he's not a huge hitter of the golf ball, but he knows how to move the golf ball both ways, plays well, and this is a very good golf course for him. And a lot of players, a lot of places set up really well for these guys.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys who play tournaments that they don't like the golf course, but as Kevin Kisner said, they pay you a lot of money for finishing 20th.
Facts. Anything else?
No, that's about it. I'm gonna do some homework on the 2-track system, and yes.
We've got obviously next week, pretty big week, Mick.
Yes, one of my favorite places. Good golf course, though.
It's your yes, it is. It's the Memorial Tournament presented by Workday, Muirfield Village in Dublin. Jack's place.
Ohio. I'll say it for you, buddy.
Yeah, you can say it. I don't need to.
I shot 2 under on the last. I shot 2 under on the last 7 holes there at Memorial, just to let you know.
I will. Okay. And in full transparency, if I got an invite and I got a chance to go play with my buddy Mick out at Muirfield Village, guess what?
You'd go.
Let's go. Let's go,
yes,
baby.
Sir. I did.
Before we get out of here, I do, as I mentioned earlier, the sports world lost 2 champions this week. 2-time NASCAR champion Kyle Busch, tragic death, hospitalization and subsequent death, and then the NHL Stanley Cup winner Claude Lemieux of the Colorado Avalanche. And for those that have followed Mick and I from the beginning, you guys know we are big hockey fans. Big game coming up between the Carolina Hurricanes and the Montreal Canadiens. we could see a Canadian
Let's go
team
Hurricanes. Let's
not
go
make the
Hurricanes.
playoffs again.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Just say it. Not
Just
make the
saying.
Stanley Cup Finals.
Yep.
But with that said, my upbringing, Claude Lemieux was never one of my favorite players. Based on his hit on Chris Draper in the 1996 Western Conference Finals, one of the dirtiest plays I've ever seen in hockey. But at the same time, he was a champion. He was beloved by the organization that I went to go work for. And he will be sorely missed. And Kyle Busch, again, both guys, ironically, Mick, like you and I were talking before we started recording, you either loved him or you hated him.
Yep.
Kyle reminded me of my favorite NASCAR driver, Dale Earnhardt. I have kind of drifted away from the sport of NASCAR since I had moved away from Detroit. I have a dear friend, Paul Hahn, who raced. His dad got me into stock car racing back when I was in high school. They had an ARCA car, and then eventually was able to go down and watch an ARCA series race down at Daytona 500, the Daytona 500. Amazing being down there for Speed Weeks and just to see and hear the power of those cars. But Kyle was one of those guys that you loved him or you booed him. And he relished both sides of it, and same with Claude. So a dark cloud hangs over the sports world this week as we've lost two champions.
I will touch on that because it is very sad, but this is something we do as men, unfortunately. Kyle Busch had been sick for a couple of weeks, from what I read and what was going through, but he wasn't interested in really going to doctors and things like that, and he just wanted to do the man thing, as we do. We tried to fight through these things, and inevitably it cost him his life. We're getting with the pneumonia and then turning into sepsis, which killed him. Yeah. It's okay to go to the doctors. And, of course, Claude Lemieux, unfortunately, lost his life to suicide, which is very close to me, as you know. I lost my stepson through suicide and my grandfather through suicide. It's okay to talk to somebody. Yeah. It's okay to go to doctors. We don't have to be these big, tough bravado men that we keep thinking that we are. If you're struggling with something, go get some help. It's okay to ask. So.
Well said, my friend. Well said. With that, thanks for teeing up with us on Tales from the Tips. If you're catching us on YouTube, make sure you give us a like, hit that subscribe button, drop us a comment, and let us know how we're doing. You can find every episode of Tales from the Tips wherever you find your favorite podcast: Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and of course, now on the iHeart app. Just download Tales from the Tips under podcast. Hit the plus button, subscribe, and enjoy. Mick.
Yes, sir.
You can catch us on all the socials, Instagram, X, and your favorite?
YouTube Live. TikTok.
No!
TikTok. Well, you didn't mention YouTube Live. I thought you'd forgotten.
You can catch us live on Twitch, and now, as Mick just revealed, you can catch us live on YouTube, where you find all of our content, including our amazing shorts. We hope you enjoy. We did have, Mick, we hit a whopping 8 folks tonight watching, and I think the one that's hanging on right now is the guy that's probably going to send us a text message. So I'm going to have a relaxing weekend. I don't think I'm going to get much done around here. It's raining again. But if I do, I'm going to go hit some balls and hit some putts. So
I'm going to spend a few hours in the hospital with Dad, checking on him.
That's a good plan for the weekend, my friend. Keep your drive straight, your putt short, and your scores low. We'll see you next time on Tales from the Tips.